Fellow gamers, it's a sad day to, well, be a gamer. It seems that there's going to be another game for 2020 that is getting delayed. And this is probably going to sting all of those who haven't read the news in the past hour. Well, Cyberpunk 2077 is actually getting delayed all the way back into September. And, I mean, who would have thought that would happen, especially after Square Enix already announced like a bunch of delays for their own games. Well, it seems that another game is getting pushed back to September, which is actually quite a big one. So yeah, we have this message over from CD Projekt Red. I'm going to go over it in just a little bit, but this is both some sad news because I was definitely expecting Cyberpunk in April, but I guess it's not going to happen anymore. But on the other hand, I'm also happy that the game is going to get more polish, and I would definitely love to see Cyberpunk 2077 come out in its best state possible. So you know what, leave your comments down below. What is your opinion on all of this? But in the meantime, let's get started with the news, and of course with the message over from CD Projekt Red, which by the way was posted on Twitter quite recently. So I'm going to go over the message right now. We have important news regarding Cyberpunk 2077's release date we'd like to share with you today. Cyberpunk 2077 won't make the April release window, and we're making the launch date to September 17, 2020, which means that it's going to get released in the same month as Marvel's Avengers, for which I was already kind of, skeptic. I was a bit, worried that releasing it so close to Cyberpunk would, kind of hurt it a little bit, but I guess it now doesn't make sense anymore because Cyberpunk is also releasing in September. Anyway, we're currently at a stage where the game is complete and playable, but there's still work to be done. Night City is massive, full of stories, content, and places to visit, but due to the sheer scale and complexity of it all, we need more time to finish playtesting, fixing, and polishing. We want Cyberpunk 2077 to be our crowning achievement for this generation, and postponing launch will give us the precious months we need to make the game perfect, and I definitely agree with that one. On the side note, by the way, expect more regular updates on progress as we get closer to the new release date. We're really looking forward to seeing you in Night City. Thank you for your ongoing support. So there you have it. This is the news coming up from the Cyberpunk 2077 team. As I was saying, the game obviously needs more polish, even though it is finished in terms of content and stuff to do and all of that. But if this means the game is going to be at least 95% bug-free on launch day, if this means that the first day of release is going to be smooth, I think I am going to be pleased with that. And I hope you guys feel the same, because this is not just like regular game. This is something that is highly anticipated, probably the most anticipated game of the last few years, and it's something that a lot of players are having a high expectation for. So I think it makes sense for CD Projekt Red to put in as much time and effort into it. And by the way, speaking of time and effort, there's already been like 6 years of development for Cyberpunk 2077. It's been like a slow number of years for the past few ones, ever since it was, teased. This also likely means that we might not get to see any more gameplay up until E3 2020. So I think it makes sense to have more coverage at E3. There's a lot of stuff that can still be talked about for this game, even though we do have quite a bit of gameplay footage as it is. But what this also means is that for the next few months, up until at least summer, we are not going to have that much action, if any, to speak of. I mean, from all of the games that are releasing up until June, there's barely any games in which I'm having any interest in. For example, I do want to play Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is going to drop in April. This was also, delayed by a month from March all the way to April, and this was also announced like this week by Square Enix. We also had Marvel's Avengers that was supposed to release in May alongside with The Last of Us Part 2, but that was also pretty much delayed up until September. So again, I'm quite curious to see if Marvel's Avengers is going to have any impact on its sales by Cyberpunk, since of course it's a huge game, even though they are different genres. Otherwise, we do have The Last of Us Part 2 in May. As I was saying, that is only a PlayStation 4 release, so if you're a PC player, well, well, you might want to play something else. And finally we have the summer, which doesn't really have any release dates, but there are some rumors that Ghost of Tsushima, another game releasing for the PS4, might release in that time window, though there's nothing, nothing concrete about it at the time of making this video. We also might get to see Biomutant. This is a game that I've talked about in the past. It's something that I really am looking forward to, just playing. It's a big open world RPG that I want to invest some more time into, and I hope that this also releases this summer. There's some rumors in that regard as well, but the developer has been quite silent in the past few months. There's nothing in terms of news for at least 6 months at this point, so that is also looking to be quite unlikely. But I was saying at the beginning of 2020 that this year was about to become like one of the biggest years in gaming history, since there were so many good games all releasing in a relatively short amount of time. But anyway, this has been it with the news. Now let me know down below, what is your opinion on all of this? What other games are you expecting to see being delayed, even though we might not even have that many games left to be delayed, since most of the big ones have already been pushed back by quite a bit. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you guys next time. So peace out, everybody.